Hello everyone and welcome back to Elite Sports Network. Today, is Friday and we're taking a look at the crazy BCS Shakeup that happened last night. Obviously two huge games with their scores are posted right here that really shake up the BCS and, answer a couple questions but open up just so much more. Obviously, Stanford takes down Oregon 26-20. Oregon, no offense all game. They lost this one themselves. This is all on them. No excuses. And then Baylor dominating Oklahoma is a great win for them. So here we have the new rankings, or the predicted rankings. And I don't think there will be too much debate that this is how they'll end up after the games, because people will say maybe Baylor will jump Stanford, but by beating Oklahoma so bad. But I think Stanford just beat the number 2, number 3 team in the nation. They're not going to get jumped by Baylor. But questions answered. Is Oregon a legitimate team to take on Bama in the championship, or is Florida State better suited? That question was answered. Florida State is better suited. People who aren't Oregon fans, can kind of breathe a sigh of relief. Obviously Seminole fans can be, exclamating joyously tonight. They can be cheering and partying as well as Buckeyes fans. But that just gets one undefeated team out of the way and makes you not feel as bad about leaving one of these teams out. Because like I said before, it's going to be terrible leaving one of these, undefeated teams out of the BCS championship game. Now you don't have to worry about that with Oregon, even though I still think they're a great team. Stanford just has their number year in, year out, and being a kind of a Ducks fan, that is so frustrating. I was very disappointed last night, but so those are the questions answered. Is Baylor legit? That question is partly answered, I think, in their dismantling of Oklahoma. But again, this brings up so many new questions that with these games over, we should be happy our questions are answered. But it just brings up so much more. Is Oklahoma not that good? Has Baylor proven itself? What if Baylor plays again and doesn't do good? Was this a fluke game? And then in here, is Florida State good enough to play Bama? Is Ohio State better than Florida State? Should Stanford jump Ohio State because they just beat the number 3 team in the nation? Should Baylor jump Stanford because they destroyed Oklahoma? Obviously we got out of the way Oregon, the whole Oregon v. Florida State, which would have been the biggest decision. That would have been so hard. So that decision is out of the way. But now is Stanford better than Ohio State? Is Ohio State better than Florida State? Is, Baylor better than Stanford? Is Baylor better than Oregon? There's so many variables, and it's hard to decide in college football in just 12 and 13 games. That seems like a lot, but these teams just need to keep playing over and over and over because, as they say, the higher sample size there is, the closer you are to the true results. These teams need to play each other to get the true results, and that's only going to happen, obviously, in the 4-team college playoff next year. We need Stanford to play Ohio State to see who goes where. We need Florida State to play Stanford to see if Florida State can take Stanford. Is Stanford a championship team? So much has been shaken up. We don't know anything anymore, really, that can happen here in the BCS. So those games really, making an impact on the top 5, 6 in the standings. Where is Oregon going to go? Rose Bowl could be gone now if Stanford's taken that place again. So Oregon might be seeing another Fiesta Bowl or Sugar Bowl appearance. Which, that's definitely still a great accomplishment, but it's not, what they were expecting this season going in. So, that's basically, your recap for Thursday. And going into this weekend, obviously, the Bama v. LSU game, game of the weekend right here, this is Friday, and on Fridays, I'm probably going to start, what's going to happen this weekend, big weekend stuff. We got Bama v. LSU. We got Auburn playing Tennessee. We got some big games, that could decide more BCS matchups. So, it's really good to weed all those out. But overall, last night was a big, probably the night of the season so far. And maybe the night of the rest of the year, because it knocked one title contending team out and it brought another one to the forefront of the BCS. So, it was a big night in college football. Breaking those two games down real quick, Stanford obviously dominating Oregon, strength, power run game. They're the ones who, they brought to the table what they were supposed to bring to the table. Oregon should have game planned better. and should have done better than that. Obviously, the 2 fumbles in the red zone, that's the game right there. Obviously, Oregon came back, that was the game. If you can't fumble inside the 5-yard line, that's just, you can't do that. That would have won the game. 27-26 would have won the game. That's Oregon's fault, all their fault, and because of that, they have to wait a whole another year for national championship redemption. Baylor obviously having their way with Oklahoma's defense, just mauling it on the rushing ground, on the ground attack, and through the air. Bryce Petty looked really strong. Mariota, 2 touchdowns, 250 yards, but not a great game. Fumbled 3 times. He might, that's gonna hurt his Heisman chances a lot. So these games really shook things up, and are gonna make it even more important that teams keep winning out here. And this weekend makes this weekend more important to decide in the BCS. So thank you guys for watching, and I look to have a preview of the weekend games, of the big weekend stuff coming out soon. Thank you.